used for sport development? I mean, especially for facilities. So are you thinking that maybe the facility we have on ground needs some more like a touch in order to give it that international, standard that it truly desire?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is the first time we are seeing a large increase in the budget of the sporting sector as compared to other years, which is quite impressive. It shows that we are moving in the right direction, even if a lot of pundits have also come out to air that it is nothing when you look at the way the budget is structured. 73 billion naira is nothing compared to what we want to do. But I think that the National Sports Commission must have a very sincere and transparent way of dealing with this finance. From what we have seen, from the initial target, we have seen how they have allocated it. So you ask yourself, if they have said this is how far, what about the federations? It needs to be clear. This federation, you're going to get this. This federation, you're going to get this. The way they've shared the funding structure, for me, is not that's not the way to go. When you say competitions will get like this, you are not definite. You are not. So I think that if all the federations know how much that they will get, so take for example, we have 32 sporting units or federations in Nigeria. That 32 should be well budgeted for. This is how far, this is how far, this is how far, so that they know that in the other areas where the budget cannot capture, you can go for private funding or look out for corporate sponsorship. So that will help, because I mean funding cannot be jettisoned in the affairs of sports. And cricket, like you said, is one area that we are still building, so it's capital intensive. A lot has been imputed in from Sunday Darius era down to N01 and then now to Diko. I think that a lot needs to be done. Building a cricket over, the one we have at Tafawa Balewa, stadium is not over, is not enough. We need to have more, and that means that we need so infrastructure. But like I said, if you want to get these things in the state, you need to have bonding with the state governors who can help you achieve that. For example, if you go to Port Harcourt in Uniport, if you go to the Uniport cricket over, it's there. What we just need is to organize the structure very well, enhance it and make the over very nice. You can have activities there. When University was River State, these are the environment where we have that over used to, where we trained a lot of cricketers. So I think that we are better. I just hope that he can start early. Like I said, they have under 19, so their vision will be fixed to that under 19, girls championship coming up soon. And so regardless of all this, let's hope that they can plan well. Infrastructure is key. When you have facilities, everything. Today, we are hosting Africa. Yeah. That tells that we are now a cricket house. We are hosting Africa, in fact, in West region of Africa, we are now almost likely the best African, cricket nation. So that tells the effort we are building here. And you don't need much. All you need is enhanced, overs across these territories. If you have them 4, 5, they know, and then you maintain them on a regular basis, that tells it all. So I just wish that it will not be talk as usual, although we have not seen that from him. But I hope that he can go one more step to see that we move this thing to various grassroots and various regions.
Of course, we are keeping our fingers crossed, hoping that all of these massive ideas can be successfully implemented, so that at least our sports will continue to grow, especially the area of cricket, where it looks as though we are beginning to make a serious mark out there, hosting other African countries and also qualifying for the second time for the under 19 ICC Women Cricket World Cup. Massive one out there, but away from that, let's shift our attention to wrestling this morning, because the 2023 African Game gold medalist Didier Umofia has revealed that he has already commenced preparation for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. The Commonwealth Games bronze medalist set a new national record in the men's 73 kg category with a lift of 150 kg in the snatch and 177 kg in the clean and jet, totaling 327 kg at the first Engineer Hamel Gubel National Open Weight Championship in Abuja in December 2024. Speaking exclusively to newsmen, Umofia expressed his disappointment about missing out on the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, but reaffirms his commitment to his future goal. This is Umofia already preparing for the 2028 Olympic Game. This is the way to go, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the way to go, but then you ask yourself, does individual represent themselves? No. So every preparation is to get towards the activity. As an individual, you start thinking, okay, my target is, I want to start preparing, because in achieving something at every event, the individual person needs to be convinced.
Yeah.
Okay, even if we cannot tell what will happen from now till then, for example, you never can tell, injury can just creep in, but when you are intentional about your preparation and lifestyle, then that is on individual basis. What about the sporting units? Okay, a lot will come, but I love the fact that he has started preparing, which will enhance, when an individual prepares, it motivates when athletes prepare for the Mundial, such as Olympics, it motivates the federations, to come in and expedite actions. So I think that is a good one. I want to see more of that. Let's leave the debacle that happened in 2024 at the Paris Olympic Games. Let's hope for the future. And if there's any time we need to start preparing, it is now January, because every of activities this year, you need to start preparing, you need to start building up, and then let's see how far it goes.
And then let's see how far it goes, but it's a good one that preparation are already on ground by Udofia to ensure that 2028 Olympic Games become a massive one for him out there, having missed the last Paris Olympic Game 2024. Away from that to the world of boxing, this morning we move because Nigerian boxing sensation Elizabeth Oshoba has set her sights on becoming the world top-ranked super lightweight boxer after breaking into BoxRec's top 5 ranking for the first time in history. The 25-year-old, who currently sits fourth behind established stars such as Katitelo, Amanda Serrano, and Chantel Cameron, expressed her determination to reach the summit. Earlier in January, Oshoba made history by becoming the first female Nigerian boxer to win a world title when she knocked out Italy's Michela Braga in the 10th round at the Copenhagen's Royal Arena to claim the WBC silver featherweight crown in 2022. Massive one for Oshoba. She had a very impressive year 2024 where she also made her name to come to the limelight out there, and this time around she has also been talking very tough, hopeful of this 2025. Now, that is not my problem. My problem right now is about the level of decline in terms of boxing in the country. In the time past, we used to have the likes of Dick Tiger, Bash Ali, even Samuel Peter. But these days, over the last 2 decades per se, it is very difficult for we to hear any top Nigerian heavyweight boxer out there making a mark, both in the male or in the female category. What is responsible for the decline of the sport right here in the country, talking about boxing?
There's no decline. What we are seeing is factional and conflict that has not been resolved. So conflict brings about faction. And when there is a faction, the house cannot stand. Unity is an impediment to success. And I'll tell you this. When the Nigerian Basketball Federation were entangled with conflict, when badminton was entangled with conflict, we never had any glorious achievement. So the Omo Agege-led board has not been fully legitimized, has not been accepted. So there seems to be the friction, whether he is part of the Confederation of African Boxing or not. But vis-a-vis, I think what is happening is we need to go back to the glory days. While we are in a modern era where things are done differently, we cannot also jettison how things were done before. Okay, so we've had glorious moments in boxing where a lot of names, called the Bashalis of this world, Shana Peters, Tiger, these names resonate with us because we grew up, watching them, getting to see how far they are going, and we felt that, okay, our tomorrow will be glorious in boxing. Unfortunately, those things are gradually waning out. But here is the thing. I think that the NLC needs to be very strategic about boxing activities. They need to look into the leadership. They need to look into the plans Sometimes we give them free roles, and those free roles does not emanate to visible plans. Before we went for the Commonwealth Games, Mike, we've also had internal issues where we don't do well in boxing.
True.
But before that Commonwealth Games, there was a policy that was initiated. Open boxing selection.
Yeah.
People trooped in, boxers from the street trooped in. It was a 1 week, almost a 2 weeks event. I followed that up. And you need to see the stadium was agog. They camped them. So you fight, it was like I mean a one-off fight. If you win, you qualify to the next round. And we were able to have some good number of boxers that represented us at that Commonwealth Games. And what happened at the end? We won medals. This is within just a period. So imagine that we are intentional about gathering boxers for a year. Say, okay, this year we're going to organize programs that is get towards, getting these boxers. And then funding is involved. Because when you camp these boxers, you need to fund them. But first of all, start the process. I've always believed that money should not stop every project that we touch life. Money cannot. Because when you start the project, there are meaningful individuals, corporate sponsors that will naturally just come to salvage the situation. So the onus lies in the hands of the federation. What is our plan for boxing in Nigeria? How can we elevate boxing to the level of admiration? What can we do, to compete among nations? Nigeria is still respected globally. True. And so let's use that as an avenue to still enhance. We have talent. Talent is never a problem in this country. The problem is, what are the policies that will bring this talent to the limelight and then sustain them? Until we get to that level, I mean, we are joking. But like I said, this is a new year. This is a new era where we now have the National Sports Commission. The commission should be about, first of all, reaching out to the plans, aggregate these plans. What is the plans? What can we do to get medals? Bros, through this, that Commonwealth Games taught me a lot of lessons. If it was African Games, I would have said that Commonwealth Games made me believe that if we're intentional about our plans, there's nothing that can stop us from achieving it.
True.
So I leave it at that.
All right, we hope that the National Sport Commission can also collaborate effectively with the Boxing Federation of Nigeria to ensure that, at least we give boxing the needed facelift that it truly deserves, because a lot of talent cut across the 36 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, that doesn't have the platform, the proper platform in quotes, to hone their talent out there. But we'll leave it at that and head straight to the world of tennis this morning, because the former world #1 Naomi Osaka has said she will have a scan on the injury that forced her rather to retire from the Auckland Classic final, but remain optimistic about playing at the Australian Open. The 27-year-old was playing in her first WTA final in 3 years after taking a 15-month break and giving birth to her first child midway through 2023. However, she was forced to quit with an abdominal injury after winning the first set 6-4 against Denmark Clara Tauson on Sunday. The Australian Open main draw begins on Sunday. All right, still on tennis this morning, because a lot is happening in the world of tennis. And Novak Djokovic says he's still experiencing trauma when he visited Melbourne 3 years ago after he was deported because of Australia's COVID-19 regulation. Novak Djokovic, who was not vaccinated against the virus, had his visa cancelled by the Australian government on health and good order ground. He was forced to stay at an immigration hotel for 5 days while he unsuccessfully appealed against the decision and was eventually forced to leave the country. Now, Novak Djokovic is still very apprehensive about the experience that he passed through in 2019. Of course, you are aware that he refused to take the COVID jab, which actually caused an impediment because the authority, didn't allow him to take part in that. So he still is suffering from that mental or trauma of 2019 COVID era.
Bros, as you were just reading that story, I was just thinking, I said, I remembered. I can't even remember how it ended. I'm asking myself, did he truly, at the end of the day, allow himself to be injected? Because the man said, it was a tug of war. The guy refused to be vaccinated.
True.
and he said he would not. He rather face the how they call it, the challenges that come with not being vaccinated. He missed a lot, and it was horrible how he was treated, regardless of how far what he has achieved in Australia. The Australian government refused him entry, but like I said, I mean, things happen, and it happened for a reason. I think that the man has paid his bill, and when he look back to 2020 and look at what he's achieved, he does say that, man, nothing stays permanent forever. I just want to believe that that memory will just always be there, because that it was a shattered year for him. Was the beginning of his problem that year, and that also crippled his achievement. Maybe he would have gotten to, he would have surpassed Margaret Court's record by now. But that alone, but his stubborn nature, somehow he can be very stubborn when he wants to achieve something. But then, like I said, the target now is this season. Let's start brilliantly. Last year, he lost it all to Yannick Sinner. He had another opportunity of getting it right. That the Australian Open is always a place he's known for. He's won that several times, and the other person will tell you that he's one player that stands tall when it gets to winning this particular one. Can he win it? Let's see how far. But in terms of preparation, he has shown that yes, gradually he can build momentum. It starts next week Monday, and so we are already keeping ourselves glued to the happenings, preparation, the pre-event leading to the Australian Open. And the Australian Open, I mean, Australia is one place that is very lovely at this period when you want to really achieve something great.
All right, we wish him very well in this very one, because he's still suffering from the trauma of 2019 COVID out there. But at this point, we'll take a quick break from the non-footballing stories. When we are back, we'll take you straight to the world of football. Don't move an inch, because we'll have a lot on football stories this morning.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN. From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring.
All right, welcome back from that short break. Let's head straight to the world of football this morning, starting from the home scene, because the former Super Eagles star and current Enyimba FC chairman Kanu Nwankwo has urged the club to push for glory in 2024-2025 Nigerian Premier Football League season. The Aba-based club, which currently sits in the 9th place in the league standing, has struggled to find consistent form since the departure of former coach Finidi George, who previously guided them to the league title. Speaking through team manager Prince Nwakebe, Kanu set ambitious goals for the team. He emphasized the need to secure either the NPFL title or the top 3 finish to qualify for the continental competition, adding that the club's firepower, former West Bromwich Albion striker Brown Ideye has returned to the NPFL after 18 years. The 35-year-old recently signed a short-term deal with Enyimba, bringing his experience and attacking prowess to the team. Enyimba's recent 4-1 triumph over Zimbabwe Black Red Bulls in the CAF Confederations Cup has boosted their morale so far. Tempo chairman Kanu Nwankwo talking tough out here, charging his team to go for the league title or to probably finish 3rd on the log so that they can qualify for the continent. But with the inconsistency of Enyimba FC this season, do you think that they can compete for the league or probably finish in the top 3?
Enyimba is always going to be a strong house in the Nigerian local league, okay? You cannot debate that. It doesn't matter how floppy they are some time in the league. It doesn't matter if they don't have results. But the good thing is that they know what to do. You saw how they terminated the contract of Yemi Olarewaju and then brought in Stanley Guma, and with that now they were able to win one of their games in the CAF Confederation Cup. So I think it's they are in the right step in the right direction. It's one thing about it is when you have internationals managing the affairs of your team, they have image rights, and they can pull sponsorship deals. They can also attract investment. Part of the investment is getting to see they play for clubs like that.
True.
Because if not for someone like Kanu, who is there, it's a little bit difficult because this man would have been in Royals United. True. Because of Finidi George. So they give you an image right that make them that people just want to have that belief because they are national figures. True. So I think that if Kanu says, although a lot of person feels that he has said too many things and implemented few, but if you know what running a club is, you will take it easy with them. Yeah. You will give them some time to really come up with their blueprint. And sometimes too, the things you have in your head cannot match the funds you have in your account. So you now battle with funding and then implementation of policies. But regardless, I think that Enyimba is the only team that knows how to navigate the dirty waters of playing in the CAF Continental Games. And I just want to believe that with the right setup, with the right approach, with the right motivation, they can do well. Enyimba any day, anytime can always compete for the title. Not even about finishing 3rd. They have lots of outstanding matches. And I tell you, if you know Guma is one man who is very competitive in nature, so he will want to achieve that. And do not rule them out. Top 3 finish is still a possibility for Enyimba Football Club this season in the NPFL.
Of course, top 3 finish is not a big task for Enyimba to carry out this season because, of course, that they're traditional team right here in the Nigerian Premier Football League, having won the league 9 good times. They are more like the Real Madrid of Nigerian Premier Football League. But away from that, let's head straight to the English Premier League because Nottingham Forest's stunning season continued with a 3-0 victory at Wolves on Monday to give manager Nuno Espirito Santo a winning return to Molyneux Stadium. England international Morgan Gibbs-White and the informed Chris Wood struck before halftime to take Forest. So within 6 points of leaders, Liverpool, who they host in their next English Premier League game. A substitute, Taiwo Awoniyi, rounded off the scoring in stoppage time. Forest remained third in the table but moved level on points with Arsenal. A defeat leaves Wolves outside the relegation zone only thanks to goal difference as they suffer the first defeat under new boss Vitor Pereira. Nottingham season so far, what do you make of it? It looks as though they are chasing the title, or is this more like a fluke? Or do you think that they are very serious about finishing within the top four? Let's not talk about the title.
I think that we have seen those kind of changes in recent time. Aston Villa, of all teams, were able to navigate and got the tickets
to Champions League. Newcastle at some point.
Newcastle at some point. So I think that you do not rule out totally the presence of a team not given an opportunity picking one of the slots, especially when you're having consistencies from the top six. Tottenham these days struggles to even get into the top six, and you understand that's the narrative. But I think that Nottingham Forest are doing something good. They are showing their effort, and the target may not be totally to pick the ticket, but with this now, I mean, it's when the league gets stronger, when the heydays comes, it's difficult for them to, fight against relegation. So sometimes the project of the club can be want to be stable in the league in the next 5 years. That stability may lead to them looking like they're going to compete. When Leicester City won the league in 2016, nobody gave them the chance. I'm sure when they came into that season just believing that, okay, we're going to compete for a European, sport. And they ended up winning and being in the Champions League. So I think that if the club have the right setup, right approach, the right motivation, that could be part of the reason why we are seeing what is happening with the side. And I mean, a lot of good times for Nottingham Forest. And I love the fact that some of our players, from Nigerian descent are there too, and wish that they can even get. We want to seize them, and with this now, a lot of sponsors' eye will be on them. A lot of talking point will also emanate from that side. And when you are in the top four in the EPL, I mean, you become a big club because week in, week out, your results will always be looked into to see how far you are faring. And that's one thing they've done for themselves. For this season, how far they can go, I cannot tell. But this period, they have shown that, okay, we have what it takes to challenge. And anytime you play them, you have to be very conscious, you have to be very intentional, because you never can tell what they will come up with, in every game.
You never know what they will come up with in every game. Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest season continue to blossom so far as they find themselves in a very good position in the English Premier League. We hope that they continue with this fine form to see at the end of the season whether they can qualify for the UEFA Champions League or probably for Europe. But one good thing is that our own Nigerian brothers are also there doing us proud. The likes of Ola Aina doing fantastically, and Taiwo Awoniyi, who has been playing more like a cameo role, also got an opportunity yesterday, and he truly delivered when it matters most. The big one for Nottingham Forest. But away from that, Real Madrid sailed through to the Copa del Rey last 16 with a comfortable 5-0 victory against fourth-tier Minos Deportivo Minera yesterday. Federico Valverde, Eduardo Camavinga, Adagula struck in the first half to dominate Spanish champions. Veteran Luka Modric netted the fourth before Gulas tapped in his second to round off the route. Coach Carlo Ancelotti rested several key players ahead of the Spanish Super Cup starting in Saudi Arabia later this week, with Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. only appearing as second-half substitute. A draw for the next round takes place on Wednesday, with a fixture due to take place in between January 14th to 16th. Real Madrid not backing out, despite the fact that they did not field in some of their star players, but yet they were still able to dismantle their opponent 5-0.
For Real Madrid, I think that you always know that they have the firepower. So sometimes they want to really be very I mean, they want to be very dramatic. They go out to the length to achieve whatever they want to do. And I think it's a good one. It's a good step for them. This season, it looks like the battle for the La Liga Santander will go down the wire. So first off, anyone that they're not doing so well to win the Champions League. So first of all, grab your hands in anyone, and that means qualifying to the later stages, which they have done. So I think Ancelotti is taking it easy, and with what we have seen so far, because don't forget they'll be going into the Club World Cup soon, and a lot of games to come their way. So 2025 offers a lot of games for them, and how he is able to blend, bring in, and adopt a style that will suit the squad matters. But I'm loving the fact that a lot of players are scoring, not just the big names alone. So that makes the team a very unique one. But like I said, they can also be very inconsistent. They win today, tomorrow you see that they draw games that others should win. But that's football for you. The revolution in football makes it very highly, unpredictable. Especially for clubs like Real Madrid, because they play a lot of games every season, so you can understand why. But I think I love the fact that they were able to get a win in the Copa del Rey.
Yeah, they were able to get a win in the Copa del Rey, dismantling their opponent 5-0. But their coach, talking about Carlo Ancelotti, the best coach for the outgone year 2024. He won the best coach in almost every of the sporting category, especially football, last season. What do you make of his tactical prowess so far, this starting from last season down to this very 2025 that will begun? Do you think that this man is just the best coach, as he has won so many awards in the outgone year? Is he truly the best coach in the planet Earth as we speak right now? You think there are other coaches that are better off than him?
It's difficult to really, there are indices, you lay to say this is the best coach. Like Pep Guardiola, yes, a lot of people are judging because of his historic, trajectory with the Manchester City setup. And so, Zinedine Zidane, at some point, was started to be the best coach on earth because he was able to win back-to-back Champions League with a club like Real Madrid. And then, so there are indices and there are high points at some time. But I think you cannot rule out Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti has proven that he can go to any club and do his part. He has traversed. He's the only coach that has traversed more than 2-3 leagues. But even the mighty Pep Guardiola haven't done that. So arguably, you place him at that level because there is one thing that one has achieved that the other has not achieved. So in total, you cannot say we have anything like best coach, but you can say he's one of the greatest coaches the earth will ever witness. And I think that's a testimony and a testament to what he's been able to achieve that cut across different leagues and clubs too. So for me, I want to give it to him that he's one of the greatest coaches. I'm probably not the best coach because he falls into the best coaches that we have currently now.
All right, he falls into the best coaches that we have right now. Massive one for Carlo Ancelotti and his men are there as they are gunning for several titles, several laurels so far this season. We hope that they continue to push and carry on. But I tell you, just like Tempo said out there, the La Liga title this season will certainly go down to the wire with the likes of Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid also giving them a run for their money. Let's see how this one goes. But away from that, Tammy Abraham grabbed a late winner as AC Milan came from 2 goals down to beat defending champions Inter Milan 3-2 and lift the Italian Super Cup trophy in Riyadh on Monday. Inter looked on course for its 4th consecutive trophy in the tournament after goals from Lautaro Martinez and Mehdi Taremi either side of the break in Saudi Arabia, but in a repeat of their 2-1 come from behind win against Juventus in the semi-final. Milan returned transformed after the break. US winger Christian Pulisic grabbed the equalizer with 10 minutes to go, with English forward Abraham sealing the winner after 93 minutes to give his side the trophy for the 8th time and first since 2016. AC Milan's 8th Italian Super Cup trophy moves them equal with Inter Milan and behind Juventus, who have won the tournament a record 9 good times. AC Milan doing the unthinkable, coming from 2 goals down to draw level, and of course Tammy Abraham struck late to give them the trophy. What do you make of their exceptional display last night?
Exceptional display, I want to say. I think that was very lovely. It's been a long time I saw them get one over Inter Milan.
True. Arch rivals.
Yeah, arch rivals. And it reminds me of the great rivalry of the old, that of Gattuso, that of Maldini and all that. And but then it's lovely to get to see how far we are seeing the new generation of footballers showcasing their top-notch skill in a clash of a titan like that. And I think that AC Milan will be very pleased that they were able to get Montana Abraham doing the midfield. I haven't seen him score goals, as he used to in recent time, but getting that goal that defined that game yesterday was one that he will cherish for some time. But I'm happy for them. I mean, with that Nanta out, we hope that they can also pull the weight in the league. They need to show more strength in the league, and a lot to see expect. But I'm happy for AC Milan that they were able to get one over their arch rivals.
Indeed, happy for AC Milan. They were able to get one over their arch rival. Talking about Inter Milan. The big congratulations to AC Milan. But at this point, this is where the cookies is going to crumble because we are running out of time. But do well to join us in the evening, 6 p.m. for another bumper package of Sport Extraordinary, where we make a return with another big stories making rounds in the ever-busy world of sport. I did the show this morning alongside Ekpo Temple. My name is Emmanuel Michael, the Prime Minister of the Airwaves. Don't forget that peace and unity remains the pathway to progress. Always enjoy here on Atlantic Television Network. Thanks for watching.